Namaste everyone. Namaste. Okay, Miraji, did you make Vinyasa flow? I told you on Saturday. I cannot hear you.
You're on mute. Sorry. Yes, sir, I've
Mhm.
sent you, but actually I was not well. That's why. That's why I
Okay.
couldn't attend Saturday's class also.
Okay.
Today I did it.
And how are you, Varunaji? You were not there on day before yesterday.
Yes, sir. I was out of town on Saturday, so couldn't attend the entire day classes.
Okay. Okay, then let's begin today's session. Sit in any comfortable pose. Keep your spine straight, nice and long. Take a deep breath in and long exhale out. Inhale and then exhale. Let's chant 3 times all together. Inhale. Now join your hands together in front of your heart center. Bow your head down. And then open your eyes while blinking. And namaste to everyone. Okay, so today we're gonna go over to that pigeon pose and king pigeon pose. Okay, so do you know what is pigeon pose? No? Yeah, Varuna knows maybe.
I am not sure, but is that Kapotasana that we
Yeah,
do
Kaputasana.
for
Kaputasana.
stretching the
Mhm.
hip joint, maybe?
Mhm. Yes.
Yes.
So today we're gonna go over to that alignment of pigeon pose. Okay. So how do we do pigeon pose? So let me see how do you do. Then I will tell you what are the rotation that we require in our hips. Okay. Okay, Varundaji, you do first, and Miraiji, you look at her.
Okay. I'm not sure, but it was like this.
Yeah, the same. So this
So,
is your Kaputasana. So
yes.
just tell me, please, that what are the rotation that you are having right now on your legs? Like
Okay.
outer rotation, internal rotation, like what are these?
Okay. So basically, it is like you sit on your one hip, and the leg which is forward is bent from the knee, and it should be folded on the side such a way that the ankle it touches the inguinal region of the other, or we can say the hip line of the other joint. And the other leg it is fully straight. The pelvis it is squared forward, and it is like when you square the pelvis forward, you will automatically feel and arch in your lumbar region, and you will feel a minor stretch over there. So this is the asana which is basically stretching both the legs, the inner thigh, the front of the thigh of the leg which is extended backwards, and the piriformis and the hip flexors which are for the hip which is folded forward, and the ankle should not be tucked in like this. I think it should be always flexed and keeping the knee facing downward. So this is what is Kapotasana.
Okay, and you, Miraji, you perform now. Now, Varundaji, you may release.
Sir, but my back leg will not able to touch my head.
No, 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 that is your king pigeon pose. That is your Raj
Yes.
Kapotasana. This is your Kapotasana. You don't need to touch your head on your feet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I just have to tell you about that pose, right?
Yes. First, get to the posture and then observe.
Okay, so we have to keep one of the leg in the forward and the other leg is stretched behind. We have to ensure that the weight is on both the hips. We don't have to shift the entire weight on the right hand side because my right hand side is in the forward right now. And left is behind. So we have to ensure that both of them the weight is on both the hips and my abdominal region and thoracic region is facing forward. I'm feeling the stretch on my left
Lower back.
side of abdomen over here, like the left part of this region, and I'm also feeling the
Yes.
stretch on my leg.
Okay.
Okay, and sir, I'm also feeling the stretch on the right leg, thighs, maybe because of the fact that it is not flexing.
All right. Okay, so in this pose, the basic alignment of this posture is that your back leg will rotate inward because we are trying to keep our hips square. Okay, so whenever you are trying to keep your hips square and one leg is in behind, other leg is in front, at that time your back leg has to rotate inward and other like front leg that can be neutral or that can rotate outward. Okay, so in any posture, whether you're talking about warrior A or forward bend, like in which your one leg is in front, other leg is behind, or Hanumanasana. Do you know Hanumanasana?
Yes, sir.
That front split when
Yes.
we low open legs. Okay, so that is your Hanumanasana. In Hanumanasana also we do the same thing. Like your back leg will rotate inward, front leg that will be neutral or that will rotate slight outward. Okay, this is the tendency of our body whenever our hips are square and legs are apart. Okay, and second thing about this pigeon pose, we do have inversion, eversion, and plantar flexion and dorsiflexion. Okay, so Varinder ji may know that what is inversion and eversion, right? So what is inversion?
Inversion is when the, I would explain in your term, Miradi. So it is like when your this side, the lateral side of the arch, when it is touching the ground, this when the middle arch is upward, it is called inversion. When the arch is outward, it is called eversion. When your arms, your toes are touching down, that is plantar flexion, and this is dorsiflexion. Okay. So basically your dorsum of the foot is upwards. That is dorsiflexion.
Yes. So this is your dorsiflexion, this is your plantar flexion, this is your inversion, and this is your eversion. Okay. So what we have to do, see, back leg is very easy to understand. Like that will rotate inward, but your front leg, in your front leg, see, when your front leg is bent into 90-degree angle, we usually pull our toes back, right? So we don't bring enough consciousness in our front leg. As I told you in that day that we have leading part and falling part in each and every posture. Okay, so in this, our front leg is our falling part. So we don't bring enough awareness on our front foot. Okay, so what you have to do, we usually pull our toes back. So our toes directly influences our leg rotation. Okay, so if you are lying down on your spine, if you're making your toes pointed, your leg will rotate inward. If you're pulling your toes back, sorry, when you're pulling your toes back, your leg will rotate inward. When you're making your toes pointed, your leg will rotate outward. Okay, this is the tendency of your feet rotation. Okay, so when you're pulling your toes back towards you, what's that mean? It will rotate inward or outward? First, extend your legs forward. Now pull your toes back towards you. Now what are you feeling? Do we have internal rotation or outer rotation?
I think it's inward.
Yes. So when you're pulling your toes back towards you, that is an internal rotation. When you're making your toes pointed, automatically your leg will start to rotate outward. Okay. So what does that mean? Our toes are directly influencing our pelvic girdle. Okay. So in our front leg, so what has what it should be? It should be outer rotated or left internal rotated?
Outer.
Outer. Okay. So when you're pulling your toes back, what does that mean? It means you're rotating your leg out inward, right? So your lower leg is rotating inward, your upper leg is rotating outward. So we do have twisting in our knee joint when we are pulling our toes back. Okay, so then that is when we can have injury on our knee joint. We may tear our ligament. Okay, so many people, they don't bring enough awareness on their front foot. So what they have to do is they have to make their toes pointed forward and do this plantar flexion plus inversion together. Okay, so it's easy to lift your inner arch of your foot and then make your toes pointed. Okay, so that's how you can easily rotate your leg completely outward. Okay, if you're doing just plantar flexion like this, you won't find this internal rotation. I mean outer rotation. Okay, in this outer rotation, what we require? See, when we are making our toes pointed, we require to have outer rotation in our legs. Okay, so in our front leg, make sure your toes are pointed so that your lower leg and upper leg, they are rotating outward evenly. Okay, but if you're pulling your toes back towards you, and then what's going to happen? Your lower leg, it will start to rotate inward, upper leg is start to rotate outward. Okay, then we have that this is the thing that we have to avoid in this posture. Okay, so that's it we have in this pigeon pose. And second thing about this, we have to keep our front leg into 90-degree angle. It should not be below the 90-degree angle or above the 90-degree angle. Okay, so whether you have flexibility or not, that does not matter. You have to keep your front leg into 90-degree angle and make sure your toes are pointing forward. Then it's going to help you out to push your lower leg down in the outer rotation. Okay, otherwise if you don't bring enough consciousness in your leg, then you won't be able to keep your legs into 90-degree angle. Okay, so how we are going to get into this posture? From the downward facing dog. So from the downward facing dog, you're going to take your right leg up in the air, make your toes pointed, and then bring your knee forward towards your right elbow. Okay, make your toes pointed again, and then bring your right foot beside your left palm, and then push your knee down. Okay, from here, walk your back leg more back, and then push your right hip on the floor, and then hold the position. Okay, if it's getting too hard, then you can always use the block underneath your front hip like this, and then hold. Okay, so that's how we are going to do this. We are going to adjust this posture. Now, one more time, do it by yourself, then let's go further. Feel that internal rotation and outer rotation. So which is more comfortable, internal rotation or outer rotation? Let me know. So which one is more comfortable, when you are making your toes pointed or when your toes are pulled back?
So after making it pointing.
Okay, so that's how we have to do this pigeon pose. Okay, and your front leg, that has to be into 90-degree angle. not below the 90-degree angle. All right.
But sir,
And
it
one more thing.
automatically goes below 90 degrees, so I push it like the front
Uh-huh.
leg automatically becomes like this. So I have to push it and keep it in 90 degrees. So that is okay.
Yeah. Keep it into 90-degree angle and use a block to take the support. Okay, you have to rest your right hip, like whichever leg is in front, that hip you have to rest on the block. Or if it's like if your hips are tight, if your hips are not tight, then you can easily drop your hips down. Okay, if you don't have block, then you can use a blanket, cushion, or fold your mat and then put it underneath your hip. Okay, let me see one more time. I did not see your pigeon pose. How you did it. From the downward facing dog, take your right leg up. Now bring your right knee forward towards your right elbow and bring your right foot beside your left palm. Very nice. Now move your hips back, move your hips back, and then drop your back hip on the floor and front hip on the floor. Very nice. And make your toes pointed. Keep on stretching and feel that outer rotation on your front leg only. Okay. And if your body weight is shifting on your right side, so what you have to do, tuck your toes under, tuck your back toes under, and then move your hips in, move your back hip in, and shift your body weight on your back leg. Okay, so that you will sustain that stretch on your back hip flexor. Okay, don't shift your body weight completely on your right leg. Okay, you have to shift your body weight evenly on your both legs. Okay, and in this pigeon pose, don't bend forward. See, have you seen pigeon? How does it look like? Upward or downward? Upward, right? So you have to be always straight in this pigeon pose. Don't bend forward. This is a variation of the pigeon pose, like when people are not comfortable in this pose while lifting their head up or chest up, they can bend forward. If you are comfortable, then you have to have this pigeon pose straight up. Okay, so that's how we're gonna do this pigeon pose. And what about your back leg? Back leg, if you are having pain on your back knee, then you can use the cushion underneath your back knee or use a blanket underneath your back hip flexor. Okay, so whichever leg is behind. All right, so is this comfortable for you, both of you? Yes. Okay, so now make a cup of finger either side of your body on the floor, and then inhale, lift your chest up, elevate high. So here one more thing, when you're bending back, your hips is moving forward. This is the flexion of your hip. Okay, so whenever your legs are rotating outward, at that time our hips has a tendency to move backward, means extension of our hips. But here what is happening, when you're bending back, your hip is moving forward. So what that mean, you're just bending from your thoracic region. You cannot bend from your lumbar region in this posture. Okay, in this pigeon pose. All right, so make a cup of finger, pull your chest up, and be aware from your upper body. Be aware of from your upper body and elevate high while inhaling. Sustain this elevation from a thoracic region stretch and feel the stretch on your vertebra, on your thoracic region, bottom of your thoracic region. And then exhale, bend down, lower your head down. Now inhale, again come up high, make a wave out of your body. Yes, keep on moving up and down. Moving up and down. Keep pressing your front foot on the floor, on your mat. Move forward and back. Keep on stretching your back leg. If you don't feel anything, then you can take your back leg more back or tuck your toes under. Okay, if you don't feel anything, then tuck your toes under and then lift your back knee off the floor. Then it's going to be more intense. Okay, now keep on moving forward and back. If you want to make any posture intense, so you just need to get slight height from the floor. Then it's going to intense. All right. Now press your palm, send your right leg back to the plank. Now take your left leg back up in the air in the downward facing dog, three-leg downward facing dog. Now bring your left knee forward towards your left elbow and adjust your left foot beside your right palm. Very nice. Push your knee down and then drag your back leg more back. The more you straighten your spine, the more extension you will feel on your back leg. Okay, keep on pressing, make a cup of finger, or if you have block, you can use a block. Pull, pull up high, and then start to move your spine forward and back. 1, make a wave out of your body. 2, reach up high and then bend forward. 3, keep on moving. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now inhale again, come up high, lift your chest up, hold here, and rotate your hips more in so that you will make nice arc on your back. Rotate your hips more in, take your back leg more back, pull your chest up, keep pressing, and then flatten your palms on the floor, send your left leg back for the plank. Drop your knees, chest, and chin on the floor. Very nice. Now inhale, swing yourself forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now from here, we will understand king pigeon pose. Okay. So once you are enough warmed with your legs, now we will move on to our spine. That is when you can get to this king pigeon pose. In this, we have back bend. Now drop your knees, chest in on the floor one more time. Now stay here into Ashtanga Namaskar. Good job. Now take walking knees forward first. Only walking knees forward. Move your hips high. Very nice. Now stretch your right leg up in the air. Make your toes pointed. Stretch high. Keep that leg straight and then bend. Now turn your head to the left side and look at your right foot. Look at your right foot from your left side. Stretch. Keep on stretching on your thoracic region. Your lower back is straight. You're just bending from your thoracic region. Press your palms. Now release your right leg on the floor. Now on the other side, take your left leg back up in the air. Go slow, go at your own pace. Stretch, make your toes pointed. Slightly bend your left leg at the knee and turn your head to the right side. Stretch. Hold. 1. Fix your gaze on your toe. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Drop your knee down. Inhale. Swing yourself forward. Open up your chest. Press your palms on the floor. Pull up high. Very nice. Roll your shoulders back. Keep pressing. Now from here, grab your right leg with your right hand. Keep your left hand straight in the center on the floor. Left hand straight in the center. Left hand straight in the center. Very nice. Now grab your right leg with the right hand. And now bring your leg close to your right hip. Bring your leg down and adjust your right foot in your elbow. Yes, adjust your right foot in your elbow. Yes. Now push down towards the floor and hold. 1. Look back. 2. Bring it more close. Try to bring it more close to your head. 3. Keep on stretching. 4. Yes, Miraji, keep on stretching. 5. Pull up high. 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10. Release your right leg on the floor. Now bend your left leg at the knee. Press your right hand. Now grab your left foot with the left hand and then stretch your leg. Pull your chest up. Now pull your chest high. Very nice. And hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, keep pulling up high. 1, and then exhale, release your hand down, leg down. Now from here, we will do upward facing dog. Press your palms, tuck your toes under, and swing your hips slight forward in line with your arms. Yes, swing your hips forward. Upward facing dog, upward facing dog. Yes, tuck your toes under, lift your knees, thighs off the floor, and push your heels back. Don't push your hips. Now push your heels back so that you will sustain this stretch. Yes, now make that nice slant on your like on your thoracic region in your pelvic girdle. Hold 5, 4, 3, be active, 2, 1. Now roll back on your toes for the downward facing dog. Swing back, go slow, very nice. Now bring your right leg forward into pigeon pose. The same way we went in earlier. Yes, drop your right foot beside your. And one more thing about this pigeon pose, make sure your front knee is not coming close to your center of your body. Okay, just push it away from the center of your body. Okay, Miraji, just push your front knee away from the center of your body. Okay, make your toes pointed. And now in this king pigeon pose, we won't bend our leg into 90-degree angle. See, when you're bending your front leg into 90-degree angle, at the time it's rotating outward, right? So we do have a lot of outer rotation in our leg when we are keeping that leg into 90-degree angle. And our hips are already moving forward. That is a flexion of our hip. But in this king pigeon pose, what we are doing, we are bending back. So in this bending back, your hip will flex more than before this pigeon pose, right? So this is a tendency of your body when you are moving backward. At that time, your leg is supposed to rotate outward. Okay, but we are bending from our thoracic region, so that our hip is moving forward. What that mean? Our hip is flexing forward, and our leg is also supposed to rotate inward, right? So you may have seen this posture. Just look at this posture. When we bend back from the thoracic region only, this time our hips is tilting forward. So we are not bending from a lumbar region. When we are bending from a lumbar region, we will have extension. But when we are bending from a thoracic region, we won't have extension on our hip. We don't require to rotate our legs outward. But when we are bending back from the lumbar region, at the time we can rotate our front leg slight outward and then bend back like this. Okay. But when we are bending from a thoracic region, your leg can be into the neutral position. Okay. So in this pigeon pose, sorry, in this king pigeon pose, our leg is rotating outward, our hip is moving forward. So what does that mean? That maybe you may get hurt, or maybe like there you will have bone on bone compression. So in order to release that bone on bone compression, we're gonna bend our leg below the 90-degree angle. Okay, bring it as close as possible to your left hip. Okay, don't make it into 90, don't make that 90-degree angle with your front leg. Yes. Now but make sure your front knee is away from the center of your body. Okay. So that is then your hip can be neutral. So you won't have that like, like extreme outer rotation on your front leg. Now bend your back leg at the knee. Yes. Now grab your back leg with the left, I mean your left leg with your left hand. Okay. So no need to rotate. If you can rotate, rotate out. Otherwise, hold. Just adjust your left foot on your left elbow. Adjust your left foot on your left elbow. Very nice. And open up your chest. Now take your right arm up and interlock your fingers. Lift your chest high. Is it getting intense, Miraji? Okay, then if you have something to put underneath your hip, then use something there. Use cushion, block, anything nearby you, or any cloth. Yeah, sit your entire body weight on your left hip. Sit, 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 and then hold. Grab your thumb. Now take your right arm up. Now hold, lift your chest up, pull up high. Okay, take the support. Take the support of your arms. It's fine. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now release your leg down. Now slowly, gently press your palms, send your right leg back for the plank. If it's hurting too much, then please let me know. Okay, make sure you don't get injured. Okay, go slow at your own pace. Drop your knees, chest in on the floor. Is your spine warmed or not? Is it warmed? Okay, now inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now take your left leg up in the air, all the way high. Make your toes pointed. Exhale, bring your knee forward towards your left elbow and left foot beside your right palm. Now first, rotate your back hip inward. Shift your body weight on your right hip first. Yeah, shift your body weight on your right hip. Hips square completely. Hips completely square. Very nice. Rotate. Good job. Now, from here, bend your back leg at the knee. Yes. Now, grab and adjust your back leg on your right elbow. Yes. Now, take your left arm up. Now, shift your body weight on your right hip. Yes, yes. Shift your body weight on your right hip and stay. 1. Interlock. Very nice. Lift your chest up and look front, high in the air. 2. To the ceiling. 3. 4. If you can make a tight grip, make it more tight. 5. 6. And then exhale, slowly, gently release down. Now press your palms, send your legs back with the plank. Drop your knees, chest, and chin on the floor. Inhale, swing yourself forward. Exhale, roll back on your toes for the downward facing dog. Now we will do this king pigeon pose against the wall. Okay. Just take a one arm distance from the wall and then get to the posture. Make sure you're facing again. You're not facing towards the wall, against the wall. Okay. Sit back on your mat. Get to this pigeon pose. Front knee is away from the body, and then take your back leg back like this. Now it's gonna get easier because of that wall support. And keep on leaning forward. Okay, the more you lean forward, the more flexion you will have on your pelvis girdle. Okay, the more you lean forward, you will have more internal rotation in your back leg. Okay, so when we bend forward, we usually have that tendency of our leg to rotate inward. So our back leg will automatically rotate inward. Okay, so keep on leaning forward and then grab your right foot with the right hand. Just take the one arm distance only. Okay, not more than one arm distance. Otherwise, it won't work. Grab. Now open up your chest. And Miraja, you do the same one as we did earlier. Grab your elbow, adjust your foot on your elbow, and then take your other hand up, interlock your fingers, and then lift your chest high. If you cannot find the balance, it means your front knee is close to the center of your body. Okay, so what that means, your front knee should be away from the body, like to this side. Use. मिराज जी आपका फ्रंट नी है जो इधर की तरफ जाएगा, फ्रंट नी को और आउट करिए, और आउट इस साइड आपका नी फुट नी इधर की तरफ जाएगा. हाँ ऐसे. Now sit back. Perfect. Now sit back. Press your toes. Yes. Now find the balance. Good job. Shift your body weight on your back hip. And use the block. Very nice. Go slow, go slow. Lift your chest up. And hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Inhale, come back to the center and release down. So let's try it on the other side. Okay. Now, are you okay, Miraji? Okay. Just take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Get back to the natural breath. Now get to the downward facing dog. Now take your left leg up in the air, all the way high. Make your toes pointed. Now bring your left knee towards your left elbow and left foot beside your right palm. Now drop your hips down, take your back leg more back, make your toes pointed. Now bring your foot close to your right hip. Now shift your body weight entirely on your right side. Okay, shift your body weight entirely on your right side. Yes, move your hips in, more in, more in. Now bend your back leg at the knee. If you can roll your arms in, roll, roll like this, out rotation in your arms. Yeah, you stay here, Miraji. Now grab your hands, interlock your fingers. Now look at the ceiling. Pull your chest up and hold 1. Be gentle. 2. Stretch 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10. Release down. Now send your left leg back to the plank. Drop your knees, chest in on the floor. Inhale, cobra pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now jump through your hands into Dandasana. Grab your big toes and then extend your legs forward. Bend forward with a straight spine. Okay, if you cannot bend forward with a straight spine, then stay, look up high, halfway look up. Halfway look up, hold. 1, stay. 2, 3, 4, 5. Try to touch your abdomen on your thighs. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Inhale again. Take your arms up over the head. Now grab your all toes with your hands. Now bend forward and grab your all toes. Again, look front, chest open. Exhale, bend your elbows, lower your head down completely forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale again, come up high, stretch your arms over the head. Exhale, release your hands down. Now from here we will do Halasana, plow pose. Roll back on your spine. Take your both legs back behind your head. Push your toes down on your mat. Now hold. 1, 2, 3. Keep stretching. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10. Now Paschimottanasana, bend forward, seated forward bend. Grab your big toes. Now move back into Halasana. Now again roll forward into Paschimottanasana. Again roll back on your toes for Halasana. Exhale again, swing forward. Now repetitive movement, swing forward and back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Keep on stretching. 10. For the last 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now sit comfortably. If you guys have pain or anything, any question, please ask.
So suppose
Mhm,
earlier somebody has done something like a pose or something,
mhm.
and then for a break, and if they take a long break, then how long it take for that flexibility to come back?
How long it will take to get that flexibility back? Uh, it takes time. See, as you did back bend, after this back bend, you were not able to do forward bend, right? It was very hard for you to get your head down. So it will take time, almost a day or 2 days. And flexibility that does not take much time. Like it will come by the time like 1 year maximum, not more than 1 year. But the strength that will take time. Okay. And are you okay?
I'm okay. Sir,
You're
I have
struggling in
done
the
all
posture.
this. I'm feeling so bad that I'm not able to do it.
You have done this already.
Like I have done all these poses. I learned everything 2 years back, but then I took a break because I was expecting, and then after my delivery, I couldn't do it for a very long time.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah. So now I'm learning
No,
like everything from the scratch.
okay. So this is going to get better very soon. No worry.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Just keep on practicing. Like within 2 or 3 months, I think. I guess you will do it.
And sir,
And you,
after
Varuna,
pigeon pose,
yeah,
sorry,
yes, yes, yes.
uh, pain in the lower back is normal.
Yeah, it comes on your lower back,
Which I
and
used.
uh, and just focus on strengthening part more than the stretching part of this lower back.
Hmm.
Okay, see in the lower back, if you're bending too much and you don't have strength to hold your entire body weight, then
Yes.
it won't work in that way. Okay, so like focus on that strengthening part too, like baby cobra pose, bridge poses, or Superman pose that we did, I think, in previous class. Okay, so work on the strengthening part.
Okay, sir.
Okay, and Varunda ji, you're so flexible in the back bend, but what about forward bend?
Is I suck at forward bendings. I mean, this has taken me almost, I would say, 1 year of practice to even touch my toes. I was
Mm-hmm.
so I actually I have this problem. The thing is that I've been a dancer all my life. I'm a classical
Okay.
dancer. So
Mm-hmm.
the thing is that I had an immense amount of anterior pelvic tilt, which leads to the lumbar lordosis. So since past 2 years, I've been trying to correct my posture, and I've reached somewhere at least in forward bends, or else my hamstrings are just so tight that a simple amount of forward bend would give me an immense amount of stretch in the.
Yeah, I just observe you like you could not bend forward, but your
Yes,
back bend is so nice.
I cannot. And actually, the thing is that my lumbar, I have this diagnosed because I'm a physical therapist myself. So I did diagnose myself that my lumbar spine is hypermobile and my thoracic spine is undermobile. So I have to get it mobilized every now and then. So to get the alignment proper, and that's the reason you must have observed something that when I forward bend, I'm just not able to move ahead of my thoracic spine. It always remains humped. No matter how hard I try, it would always remain like this. I cannot just go ahead. So I'm trying to get it correct as far as I can.
Okay, so you have lordosis too,
Yes,
right?
I do have lordosis. You must have observed I have hyperextended knees as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
so work on the strengthening part again.
Yes, yes, I'm trying my best. That's the reason I'm learning all the proper things so that I can correct my posture myself. Yeah.
You said your thoracic region is under mobile and your lumbar region.
Yes.
Hypermobile.
It is hypermobile. I
So
got
when you do back bend, so how, like, you bend from the thoracic region or lumbar region?
I think it is more, it is the combination of both, but my T1, T2 vertebra, the upper thoracic vertebrae are hypomobile.
T1, T2.
Yeah, it is hypomobile.
That's why you could take your head like too much backward.
Yeah, it is hypomobile. The upper thoracic is hypomobile. So I have to go and I have to get it mobilized with my colleagues. It sometimes what happens is that there is just if I'm doing any sort of inactivity or something, and if I've not been practicing for say 5 days or 6 days or something, then I would end up getting pain in the upper thoracic region sometimes. And that's the reason I have to get it mobilized by time to time.
Yeah, if it is hypermobile, then you need to work on the strength, like the crow pose, like in wherever you are lifting your head up against the gravity, that posture will help you out.
Yes.
If you have lordosis on your lumbar region, it means you have lordosis on your in this cervical region too.
Yeah, it is almost like that. So all the primary curves of our body, that is the lumbar and the cervical. So those are the curves which are hypermobile.
Okay.
Yeah. And I've said, because I've been dancer all my life again, so most of my posture has been changed since childhood to this, so I cannot blame myself as well. Yeah.
Okay, then if you have any question about this pigeon pose, then you may ask, or king pigeon pose. Do you guys have?
So, sir, for pigeon pose is also a part of hip opening. Like if I
Yes,
want to
yes,
practice this, then all my preparatory poses will be as per the hip opening, right?
yes. So this is a hip opening preparatory pose. Okay, and in this we do have that stretch on our hip flexor. Okay, the more you're flexible from your hip flexor, the better your lower back will be. Okay, so that's it. Okay, then enjoy your day. Let's finish today's session. Let's finish with one Om followed by three Shanti. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bow your head down and open your eyes while blinking. And namaste to everyone. Okay, enjoy your day.
Thank you, sir.